If you are an artist who keeps starting projects but never finishing them, always researching and planning but never actually creating, this video will change everything. I'm going to reveal to you the three enemies that keep artists stuck. This is the endless loop and the cycle that we always go through. We start a project, we get excited, then we go through such a long phase of planning and researching, which in and of itself is making us think that we're actually working, but no action has been taken. I will show you how to defeat these three enemies so you can keep and start to create more. Enemy number one is procrastination. Procrastination is basically fear in disguise. You are always preparing, and in reality, you're actually hiding. You have a fear of starting out, either because you think that you are incompetent or that you lack the skills to start. So you delude yourself into saying that you need to learn this before you start, you need to get this equipment. So you just like over prepare, you over plan, and then when you actually start the work, it feels very daunting. It's like an example I can give is, let's say you're going on a hiking trip and you're overpacking, you're packing so much, and you're forgetting that hiking, you need to walk long distances. You'll be walking on a hill or a mountain. So in reality, less is more, or less, if your bag is not as heavy, the hike is going to be easier. So you are overpacking your stuff. So your bag is so filled with stuff, and then you're trying to go hike. Now, the hike is much more excruciating. It's much more undoable. Like you don't want to even hike. So that's the metaphor or an example I can give to artists over planning. And if I haven't made it clear, this video is for any type of artist, whether they do animation, illustration, film, music, it doesn't matter. This advice and enemies all applies to any type of artist. Not only do you over prepare, you also hijack your mind in social media. So distracting yourself by social media. You research, quote unquote, by watching Instagram reels. You try to save those reels thinking that you're gonna go back to them, but you never do. You save lots of YouTube playlists, but you don't even watch those videos. Even if you do watch those videos, you take a lot of notes that you don't even reread them. And even if you do read them, when you start the project, it's like you don't know where to begin. So the way to combat over preparation is to simply act on your idea. As soon as you get an idea for a project, in the first 24 hours, your idea is gonna die. Like if you don't execute on your idea within one day, your idea is going to die. It's gonna fizzle out. It's not going to exist anymore. That's how ideas are formed. So when you get an idea, act on it. Give a rough draft. So for an example, as a filmmaker, if I have an idea for a film, I'm going to act on it as soon as possible. So in my craft, in my scenario, I would shoot very fast stuff, like let's say I got a idea for, I don't know, a thriller film, like action thriller film. I would naturally just shoot something, of me talking about it, that counts as an action, or writing the script, that counts as an action, or if I cannot film, I write the script. So if you're an artist, like draw the rough draft of rough illustration. So just do the initial stage of your idea. You can always change things later. You can always plan more later. So I recommend when you get an idea, act on it first. See how it is, and you can change things later on. Now, the second enemy is over ambitions turn simple ideas into impossible projects. Many artists also face the struggles of ideas. We tend to have lots of ideas. And living in an age of social media, with watching a lot of stuff, we naturally have ambitious ideas. There's something I see on social media saying of the artist that's lazy but ambitious. So ambitious but lazy. This is very dangerous because, especially if you are in the beginning years of your art career and you haven't made big projects before, you shouldn't really have over ambitious projects. You need to know where you are, your skill level. So let's say you are starting out as an artist. You need to at least make 20 micro projects. Micro projects meaning it doesn't take less than 3 days to complete, or it doesn't take less than a day to complete. You need to make very small projects, you know. I've made a skill assessment sheet to know how to assess yourself before you make a project. I will post the link in the description. It's for free. You can download. But take a look at that list. So you can see that you need to complete micro projects first and small projects before you go into bigger and bigger and bigger. So you need to start small and then you go big. So, and I want to also define the definition of ambition. Ambition just means something that is difficult to complete. And you as a beginner artist or intermediate artist, you need to make projects that are easier to complete, which then in turn will make you more eager to finish more projects. Because once you finish lots of small projects, your brain will be addicted to finishing projects. So now, once you're able to tackle a project that can take you 3 months, you are able to withstand that project. Does that make sense? If you're recognizing these patterns in your work, I have created a complete guide on how to break the block, how to break your procrastination, problems with planning, anything that you've dealt as an artist. I've made an entire ebook that's 136 pages that you can download. Link is in the description. There's many free templates, free guides, free worksheets inside of that purchase of the book. I really thank you very much if you can take a look at it. On to the next enemy. Enemy number 3. Disorganization kills momentum before you begin. You need to be organized as an artist. Without being organized, you waste a lot of time. An example I can give, when I was editing my first short film, I did not have my files organized. My files were all over the place. And even though it took me like 20 to 30 seconds to find a file, or sometimes even a minute, those seconds or minutes compound, they add up to the workflow and workload. So in reality, I'm wasting time. And my desk is cluttered, my items are all over the place. But you need to be organized, because being organized will make you focused more on your work. Let's talk about desk for a second. Your desk should only include the items that you actually need when you're working. If when you're working, you have lots of stuff there that you don't need, hide them in your drawer or put them elsewhere, because your desk needs to be organized into the equipment that you actually need to use. Now, for your digital workflow, you need to organize your files, your file categories, and you need to name them so you can find them easier. Another thing I can recommend for being more organized is planning your tasks tomorrow. Plan your tasks tomorrow today. So after you finish working, plan what exactly you're going to be doing. So by the time you work tomorrow, you know exactly what you're going to work on. So in conclusion, a tip I can give to you if you've been holding back on a project that you've been wanting to do, you can do the 5-minute rule. Work on a project for 5 minutes and then you can do anything else afterwards. Most cases you will end up wanting to work anyway, because you've got that feeling of momentum that you can actually finish something. But just set a 5-minute timer and stop. And then work on anything else. You can watch movies, do anything else, but 9 times out of 10 you're going to be wanting to work even more. So thank you very much for watching this video. Again, you can please check out my ebook. I have more stuff in it. This video was based on chapters and sections of my ebook. I believe to be a helpful guide for you all to check out. Thank you very much and have a good day.